Welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways, Coyote in the Highlands. This episode of Twitter Enlightenment is brought to you by Twitter. That's a joke, not a product placement for whatever YouTube algorithm thing is going on. I have no marketing agreements with anybody. So, a tweet came up, and it's how do you feel when you go through a whole bunch of stuff in your life, like a whole bunch of drama, ending relationships, major life changes, people die, you have a hard time, you go all the way down, you're starting to climb back up. How do you feel when people who didn't stick by you, who didn't stick with you through that whole chain of events, suddenly are back in communication with you when you're climbing up, when you're on the way up in your life? So, my response is basically free. I feel free. I've been through that and I feel free. They don't take up any space in my head. They're not, I'm not mythologizing them. I don't need them. First of all, they weren't there for the deepest internal struggles. You don't need them. That doesn't mean you don't need love or anything. It doesn't mean you don't appreciate people. It's just, you're free. My ability to relate with them isn't based on whether or not they've helped me or hurt me or stuck by me or whether or not I'm judging them. The response thread is full of people judgment. I hate people like that. I would never let them back in my life. You spend more effort and anger inside your head. This is because all of that is inside you. It has nothing to do with them. You spend more of that create more negative emotion than you would have gotten, I don't know, if they'd actually slapped you in the face or something, but it's all internal. It's all inside you. So free, that's how I feel, I can appreciate them. I can appreciate them as family, friends, lovers, whatever, but I don't need them. And that also frees you from their dramas and importances. So it's an opportunity to realize that you don't need to judge these people. You don't need vengeance. You don't need to give them what they deserve. You don't need to say anything, do anything. You have a level of trust, and you have a level of independence, and you can share joy, life, laughter within those levels of trust. You know that you can share joy with people, but that they're not going to be there for you. And that's okay, because you've already been through it and you know that you don't need that. It's nice. It's very nice to have some support emotionally when things go bad and you haven't remembered yourself and you're not in full awareness and pain turns to suffering. Because suffering is a creation of the mind. Okay, pain is something that happens to the body or the brain. Emotional pain can actually happen, but suffering is a mental construct on top of the pain. So you don't need them. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means you don't need them. You're not dependent. That's the key. You're not dependent on them for your survival, for your growth, for your ability to overcome obstacles. And that is a really cool sort of freedom if you can get past that vengeance or that reckoning or that internal audit, the value audit, the bookkeeping part of life. We're very material culture, and bookkeeping is kind of scorekeeping is kind of the default. They didn't help you, you won't help them. That's this, that. Relax, man. The one thing you've gotten out of this whole experience is that you're free. You didn't need it. It would have been nice. Maybe it would have been nice in the sense that it wouldn't have allowed you to grow, but you didn't need it. There's no blame. There's no vengeance. There's no guilt. There's no... what is it except for vengeance? What could you possibly have in terms of negative feelings for that? They didn't do what you wanted them to do out of their lives for you. Okay? And? you know. And this, it seems like such a clear and obvious message to me, but when I try to explain it, I no longer have the reference points for how to talk about it, because it's not there. You know, they don't have that, people don't have that space inside me to own me in that fashion. And that's the biggest thing that you can take away from a growth experience like this. Like all of the negatives, going down, rock bottom, you're on your way back up, and all the people who weren't there for you, acquaintances, friends, family, who are there now, well, they taught you they provided you with the opportunity to teach yourself a very good lesson, that you're not owned by those people or their actions. You're owned by yourself and your actions. That's awesome, you know? The amount of positivity that you can take out of that is just amazing. So, short video today. Just wanted to talk about that. I think I might be doing more of these Twitter enlightenment videos, because these topics come up and they're really, really fast, really easy. What do you do with the people who abandon you in your darkest times? Whatever. Go out and have dinner with them, because you're free. That's the response. You're free. They don't own you. Isn't that awesome? Stay sideways.